You know what this is about, don't you?
No, I ain't no ratty nunts.
Let's prove it. We'll hold a kangaroo court right here. Harry, you can be judge. You, defence counsel. And you, what's your name?
Kelly. Anthony.
Right, Anthony. You're a solicitor.
What are you, Victor?
Oh, I'm the hangman. Over the top. There you go, nonce. How's it?
You've had confirmation that the trial will begin on Wednesday?
Yes.
All 4 of the prisoners have their own legal representative, and 3 of them have been awarded legal aid. However, prisoner Anthony Kelly's family have hired the services of...
Christina Natchbull.
She's a pretty formidable criminal barrister. Very well known for her manipulation of the media, specifically the press.
Our main concern is with regard to the prisoner Anthony Kelly.
Was it your decision to place Kelly with Foster and Reynolds?
You never thought it might be preferable to put this young and first-time offender into a cell by himself?
No, I did not. In the past, I have invariably discovered that it's better for a first-time offender to bunk up with someone who can show them the ropes.
Well, he was most certainly shown them. Colin Foster was tried and hanged in his bloody cell.
Are you okay to drive?
I'm fine to drive, but don't for a second think that I'm okay. I didn't hear you coming to my defense. I didn't hear you admit that we had discussed which cell to put Anthony Kelly in. And the area manager kept bloody quiet, didn't he? He knew all about it. And what about Andrews? He was on the wing 10 minutes before the hanging. I bet he's not coming to court. You were on duty that night. How come it's all my responsibility?
Because you're the governor.
Train collection, stand at your pad door.
Bravo. Bravo.
Can you hurry it up, please? They're bringing the food trolleys up.
This is a 2-man cell, correct?
Yes.
So when 3 men were in this cell, where was the 3rd bunk and which one was allocated to Anthony Kelly?
It was anchored to this one and raised up as a bunk bed.
The body was found hanging from the air vent.
Yes.
Chair fallen to one side.
Yes. The 4 prisoners involved are in the segregation unit and have been since the hanging.
Anthony!
No,
okay?
door key, breakaway.
All right, son.
Get back from your door.
Anthony! Anyone?
Stop out. Step out, visitor. Right, Mr. Kelly, let's go.
Anthony! Anyone all right? Anthony!
Shut it, Victor! No talking!
Kelly, can you hear me?
I have never, ever had to interview a client preparing for trial in this manner. I would like my objection to be placed on record.
I'm sorry, Miss Natchbull, but it's the governor's orders. All the other counsel have been required to do so.
Are you all right, Anthony? I'm sorry they put us in here for our last conference before the trial.
It's okay.
No, it isn't. The next time I see you, we'll be in court. But I won't waste time on that now.
Will my girlfriend Sandra be there?
Only if she's been called as a witness. Because all the defendants are currently serving sentences, the trial will be held in camera. I believe you are innocent. Look at me, Anthony. You understand the charges? You played no part in the murder of Colin Foster.
I didn't. I swear before God I didn't. I'm so scared.
Stop vehicles.
I'm the governor! You've got a 12 o'clock with a POA, then one at 11 with the HMS. And these are the lists of interviews. Now, I've spaced them 15 minutes each, and you wanted the applicants from your educational department. They're in that file, so I've listed them as well. You've got a full afternoon.
And do I not have one, Mavis?
You also wanted to start checking the meals as the main kitchen's almost functional. I can put that back.
No. I've a lot of complaints about boiled potatoes. Boiled potatoes and more boiled potatoes, right. Right, Mavis, start them coming in. Are these in the right order? Mavis? Mr. Ewing, Governor. Come in.
Hi.
Please, sit down.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was very late this morning.
That's all right. I suppose with all the construction going on, you've had your hands full.
Yes, it's double security and checking every man and moving all the inmates we have here around as the work progresses. And it is progressing. Right. John. It's very impressive. Do you want to tell me why you're leaving your present job?
The governor and I do not see eye to eye. He seems to think that because I am black, I should be concentrating on black prisoners. Whereas I feel whatever I am should in no way differentiate me from the other officers.
How do they, the inmates, react to you?
Once they see the Brother Act doesn't work, they're probably more antagonistic towards me than they are with the other officers. But I reckon just got to give it time. There's no need to go in heavy-handed.
About the other officers, how do they react?
Pretty much the same as the inmates. Sorry. I will, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll walk you through to the gate guard, Mr. Ewing. It's this way.
Shall I bring in the next, Gov?
Yes, I would say that was the intention. I'm sorry about commandeering your office. Shouldn't be too inconvenient.
Anthony Kelly's counsel has complained about having to interview him in a no-contact section.
Yes, I received her terse little memo. Next. Mavis, next.
Mavis, who's the black bloke?
They all are, well, so far.
What, black?
The governor, Miss Huey.
Good morning. Please sit down. It's Sania, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, I'm running a bit late, so excuse me if I just get straight to the point. Sorry, excuse me. Governor. No, could you just hold the trolley for 2 minutes?
Vegetable soup, bread rolls as starter, steak, kidney pie, boiled potatoes, peas and green beans main course, jam roly poly pudding.
Could I have a plate? I've had a few complaints that the food served isn't very hot. And how many times have you served boiled potatoes since I've been here?
It's not my fault. It's because of the rebuilding. It's got to go through 3 corridors, outside, then onto the wings.
The vegetables are a bit overcooked, and the boiled potatoes could do with a few more minutes. Is there custard served with this?
Not today. Milk was late arriving.
Where are the specials? The diets and the allergy trays?
With the work going on, I haven't got the space to prepare the specials. I do the medical ones, but the diets, they can just eat less.
You were in the army, weren't you?
Yes, ma'am. 15 years.
I thought so. Thank you. Governor.
I've segregated him in a cubicle. I think you better come and see him.
Mr. Doc, arranging a visiting order for me.
Morning.
Morning.
How is he?
Not good. His breathing's very erratic. It's liver failure.
Recommendation 10.
Governor.
In a second. Is he dying?
Yes, he is.
Doc, are you going to see him? Because I've got to get back on the wing.
I think you should wear a surgical mask. He's had severe nosebleeds. I have asked to re-examine prisoner Norman Jones.
I'll be right with you.
Bring them into line with the private sector jails.
Well, this one's trouble, huh?
Yeah.
I've been in contact with the medics at 2 of Jones's previous prisons. Apparently, without medication, he becomes excessively violent. How you doing, honey? What do you want? Huh? What is it?
Hold me on, son. Help me get through this.
Just let go, honey. Everything's gonna be just fine. That's a good lad.
This is all there is to it.
Should be accorded automatic access to the same quality of life as those detained in psychiatric hospitals. Shut up!
Now shut up! There is a man dying in there. Thank you.
He's dead.
You know, when the prison's full up, for want of a better description, we'll be needing a full-time doctor.
Not my idea of heaven. Sorry. I knew the previous doctor, that's why I stepped in after the riot, but as full-time, no way. Some of your inmates, Miss Hewitt, they scare me. And some of them repel me. There's just so little kindness in here, and not everybody's able to deal with the dregs of humanity.
They're not all dregs, Doctor.
Perhaps you have a vocation.
Maybe I have.
The new Mars ice cream is their best ever. Experts in ice cream agree.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They've improved. I can't believe it's hot butter with even more buttermilk. So, are you going to taste how much better it is while stocks last?
My name is Gary Lydiard. I'm a makeup artist in the motion picture business. The camera sees everything. Everybody wants long, luscious lashes. Before I started using stretch mascara, I used to have to put a liner on the back of the lashes. The crisscross brush covers the base of the lash all the way to the front. It's really important to us to try and get that long look, and with the stretch mascara, you can achieve that.
The makeup of makeup artists. Max Factor International.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fiber's delicious combination of fruit, nuts and flakes means you never know what's going to come next. Absolutely delicious.
Kellogg's Fruit and Fiber. Every mouthful is a new experience.
The difference is Debenhams.
McDonald's hamburger, now 49p. McDonald's cheeseburger, now 59p. Greenhouse rising, £220,000. What? I know.
McDonald's cracking value in a crazy world.
Because I've got enough on my plate already, I get NatWest to sort out my life assurance, small business banking, credit cards, home insurance, foreign currency. NatWest, more than just a bank.
All I can do is repeat what I was told. The education department should be ready next week.
Mr. Morgan, I don't suppose you've any news for me, have you?
What about?
My probation officer. Before the ride, he said I was on the list for a weekend visit.
I don't know, Fisher. Best thing's to ask the governor on our rounds tomorrow. I just work here, mate. Hey, Jumbo! What's going on?
Waste of time, mate. Doc reckons he's got a screw loose. Shall I tell you where he should be?
Did you find out about my query? Brian, you've been asking the same question for months now. If you get 21 days added to your original sentence, it stands to reason the days will be attached to your release date. Now, I told you that. The Gov told you that. Half the wing has told you that. Piss off. Go on.
Yeah, but I got some off for good behaviour.
Tell you who you should ask. Norman, bloke in cell 48. He'll put you straight, Brian. Real friendly. Go on, ask him.
Nice one, Walter. Thanks. All right, mate. Walter sent me over. Said you'd help me with me diary.
I don't know what to do. What would you do? They said a weekend, Walter. Due for a weekend, you know, start adjusting.
When was the last time you was out?
15th of May, 1981.
Christ. You'll need more than a weekend to adjust, mate. There's been a lot of changes since 81. All right, explain it to you, did he?
You want to know what he said? He said if I spoke to him again, he'd bite the tongue out of me head. Nice one, Walter.
Monsieur. Malcolm Smith.
Thank you for coming in. It's about Alan Fisher.
I am attempting to get all the records, but it's a long process. You know, the entire department went up in smoke. But according to his file, he was put forward for a weekend visit. He's got parole date in 18 months. Well, 7 now.
It was suggested he be transferred to an open prison near his home.
This is appalling.
With the new Home Office ruling regarding home leave, it's making a lot of extra paperwork.
Well, we have got to get this department organised and fast. I'll look into it. Thank you very much for this. Yes?
One on line 2, Mr. Soames. Is it all right if I go for lunch now?
Yes, thank you, Maura. I'll contact you as soon as I've checked through this. Helen Hewitt, Mr. Soames. I'm sorry, I meant to return your call. Yes, well, I can appreciate that, but you must understand that I was not on duty that night. In fact, on the night that it happened, I was having dinner with Mr. Andrews and my area manager, John Bunny.
Yes, I suppose after the riot at Barfield, the prison must be in a very disorganised state.
Not that disorganised, Mr. Soames.
Good. I was hoping you'd say that. I'm very confident that the case will be conclusive and that things will be dealt with in as short a time as possible. That said, there is one area that troubles me. The defendant, Anthony Kelly, like all 4 men, is pleading...
Not guilty, yes. No.
Have you met Miss Knatchbull?
No. But she's obviously had a lot of visits with Kelly over the past 6 months. And she's seen the cell. Why did you ask if I'd met her?
Miss Knatchbull's worried that her client can be got at.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's obviously not meant to sound as if I'm undermining Barfield's security.
The men involved in the hanging have all been segregated for the past 6 months and remain in secure cells.
Am I right in assuming that during cell association on the night of the hanging, all the cell doors were kept open?
Yes, which means that Anthony Kelly could have walked out at any time but didn't.
And I'm also correct that shortly before the incident occurred, 2 other prisoners...
Incident? You call a man hanged an incident?
A man hanged in a cell built for 2 prisoners, which was accommodating 3. In the Barfield rules, there is no cell association. I am sure the defense will want to know why 5 men were allowed in that cell. Why was Kelly in there?
Well, in perfect conditions he wouldn't have been, but there was no alternative.
So you admit that by an administrative error you placed a young and vulnerable boy at risk?
No, I admit no such thing.
Good. I believe if there was any possible inference that the present conditions at Barfield might be used in Anthony Kelly's defense, if any negligence...
Anthony Kelly committed a crime. I didn't sentence him. I didn't send him to Barfield.
I'm glad to hear you have such a positive attitude. Miss Knatchbull is a formidable lady. I have no intention of calling you for the prosecution, and I presume, as you've had no contact from Miss Knatchbull's solicitors, you're not called for the defense.
If I was, it would be highly unethical for me to speak to her, but I'm perfectly willing to be a witness.
Good. And I feel confident you will prove more than a match for the delectable Miss Knatchbull.
Do you think I might be called for the defense?
Not if I've got in first.
Morning, Doctor. How are you?
They're Kelly's parents.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
Death was caused by strangulation. The deceased had no other external injuries. On my examination, the flex was still attached to the victim's neck, but had been loosened as mouth-to-mouth resuscitation had been performed by 2 auxiliary nurses. Both noted the victim showed no sign of life on admittance to the hospital wing.
Dr. Thomas, can you identify that? Exhibit 3 is the flex removed from the victim?
Yes, this is the flex that I removed from the victim's neck.
I ask you also to identify the next exhibit, number 4, a grey sock.
This item, or one similar, was removed from the victim's mouth. I did not remove it myself, but auxiliary nurse Jones did. The item was then...
Do you know if that is the sock that was discovered in the victim's mouth, Dr. Thomas?
I really couldn't say. One grey sock looks pretty like another. I'm sorry, but the said item was, I believe, put into a plastic bag in the hospital wing And removed by the police.
Morning, Governor.
It's not a rude question. Who's sort of running my prison this morning? It's not Walter Brinkley, is it?
Could I please check your names? Miss Hewitt?
Yes.
Mr. Malahide?
Hello.
DCI Jones?
Yeah.
Mr. Marshall?
Yeah.
Mr. Clark?
I was just wondering how long I'd have to wait.
I'm sorry, I really couldn't say. Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Edwards?
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Kelly? Excuse me, Miss Hewitt. No portable phones are allowed inside the courtroom. Hello.
Know that all bags are left at reception. Next. Next.
June Fisher visiting Alan Fisher.
Know that all bags are left at reception. Next.
Meryl Snooper visiting Oswald Snooper.
Next.
Lastly, I questioned prisoner Anthony Kelly. This was approximately 2.5 hours after the incident had occurred. He was still in a very distressed state, but agreed to be interviewed. May I refer to my summary, my lord?
Yes. Please continue.
Mr. Kelly stated, I was just leaving the cell when Victor, that would be Victor Braithwaite, my lord, walked in. I was very uneasy because I had just been given a spliff. That is a marijuana cigarette, my lord. I had never smoked one before, and I was feeling sick and dizzy.
Have we had his interview transcribed? No, we haven't.
I've done what you told me. I've never moved the bags in because they check everything at the gate. You know I've been waiting a long time. I've done what you told me. I've never brought the papers with me because they check everything at the gates.
I know. But one of the reasons they're going to release me is because they don't know anything about the divorce.
I can't keep on waiting. You say I can't send them, but you've also got to sign the deeds over to me.
They read the mail, June. They'd know. I'll sign them when I come out. You've got my word. I'll sign. I promise.
What do you mean she's...
He does.
Baby don't snore.
He does.
So listen, everything went all right again.
Yeah, they searched my bag and my coat. Arnold, I told you to play with your puzzle. Right, come sit beside me. He's getting to be such a handful, you know.
I know. Sit down, stop messing about, right? You got it. Is it all right if I hold my kid?
Yes.
Cheers.
Hey, shall we go see Daddy? Daddy's gonna hold you now.
Come, baby.
Ooh.
Ooh.
She is heavy.
You're heavy.
Who eats?
But you're beautiful, darling. You're so beautiful. Where is it?
They checked the nappy last time. There's some under her sweater and some in the bottle. Arnold, give me that. Don't pull it in your mouth. Oh, you're so cute.
Yes.
Oh, give Daddy a smile.
Detective Chief Inspector Dunes, from Anthony Kelly's interview with you, he determined that all three were actually smoking. Is that correct?
Yes, my lord. When I questioned Kelly regarding the smoking,
Continue.
he answered that Stephen, Mr. Walton, was rolling them in the cell. I then asked the defendant how many he had smoked. He said 2.
And all the 3 other defendants have denied partaking in this spliff. Joint.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, you can tell Fisher. Yeah.
They've risen till 10:30 tomorrow.
Oh, shit. I've been here all bloody day.
And this is the best gear on the street, but it's expensive, you know what I mean?
How much?
I've got your weekend, Alan.
When? Is it this month?
3 weeks' time. I wanted you to know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Please do.
Mr. Smith, I've got to ask you.
What is it, Brian? You said it was important.
I've lost my paper. I've lost it. 1 minute.
I'm going out.
I am already. Totally out of it.
We run a very fair house here on Sundays. Mum sticks the lunch on, Dad sleeps it off. And I recycle the dishes. God, see the grease on that? Looks like Dad's used it for an oil change. Mind you, when it comes to knocking grease on the head, this fairy liquid's a serious piece of kit. It's kind to your hands, Mum says, and it cleans right through to the squeak. No messing. Here you go. Perfect results every time.
Let us know if you need a hand, son.
Fairy cuts grease to the squeak.
Buy your glasses from Vision Express and they'll be ready in about an hour. Even bifocals and varifocals. And you'll get a pair of prescription sunglasses from a selected range worth at least £89 and absolutely free. Free prescription sunglasses from Vision Express.
When you decide you want a conservatory, you know it'll be great for sunny breakfasts, children's lunchtime parties, afternoon tea and cakes with Auntie, or evening drinks with friends. You also know you want a conservatory from a company you can trust. So with 40% off and nothing to pay until autumn, call Moddeck Windows on 0345 633333 for a written quotation.
Vauxhall's new 50/50 offer means you can have a whole new Vauxhall now and only pay half. But even better, the other half you pay 2 years later with no monthly repayments in between. And because there's no interest, the money you save should come in handy for a rainy day. The new 50/50 offer, developed by Vauxhall.
Because there are better things to do with your life. Get NatWest to sort out the mortgage, investments, pension, loans, life assurance. NatWest. More than just a bank.
In the witness box. Prosecution counsel just called her.
Having interviewed every officer on duty on the night in question, that included my deputy and my senior officers, I'm satisfied that there was at no time any sign of disturbance on the wing, and that no blame for the tragic outcome of events can be levelled at any officer on duty that night.
I have no further questions, my lord.
Snatchable.
May I ask your age, Miss Hewitt?
I'm 33.
Could you explain to the court governor ranks?
Governors are scaled in ranks from 5 upwards, a Governor 1 being the highest rank.
And what rank from 1 to 5 are you, Monsieur?
I'm a Governor 3 rank.
How long have you been a Governor 3 rank?
9 months.
So you were Governor 4 until recently taking over Barfield Prison, a Category B all-male prison?
Yes, that is correct.
And before taking over the running of Barfield Prison, you were Deputy Governor at Cattering Hall, an all-female prison?
Yes, that is correct.
You took over Barfield after the highly publicised riot.
My lord, may I ask my learned friend why she feels it necessary to give details of Miss Hewitt's career and what possible relevance it can have in the case?
My lord, the circumstances at Barfield Prison at that time are very important to the defence of Anthony Kelly.
You may continue, Miss Knatchbull.
Thank you, my lord. Perhaps I should clarify the reasoning behind my line of questioning. Anthony Kelly was placed at risk the moment he was admitted to Barfield. As Miss Hewitt is a new and very young governor.
My lord, Miss Hewitt's professional credibility is not in question at this trial.
I suggest my learned friend should read the papers. Since Miss Hewitt took over the running of Barfield, 2 men escaped in a helicopter.
My lord.
Very well, you may continue.
Miss Hewitt, how long was Anthony Kelly held at Barfield?
Almost 2 days.
Did you interview him?
No, I did not.
So you didn't actually know him at all?
I knew his age, plus information regarding his crime and his sentence.
But you did not actually see him on his admittance?
Until a prisoner has been interviewed by the probation department and the medical staff, until I have received a full and detailed report regarding his needs, be they educational, medical, or domestic.
How long does that take?
In Anthony Kelly's situation, almost 2 days. I would just like to point out, in case you're not aware of it, that each wing also has its own governor and its own senior officer.
I'm sorry, Miss Hewitt, but who put Anthony Kelly, a young 24-year-old first offender, into a cell with 2 prisoners, both serving long sentences for violent crimes?
Objection, my lord. My client's previous record has no bearing on the present case.
Please rephrase the question, Miss Knatchbull.
Miss Hewitt, is cell 29D wing designed for 2 occupants?
Yes, that is correct.
How many occupants were allocated to cell 29D wing the night Colin Foster hanged?
3.
We have heard in court today that it is against Barfield prison regulations to allow men to associate in their cells. We have also heard that on the night Colin Foster died, 4 men were in the cell. The deceased makes 5.
My lord, I really cannot see why my learned friend feels obliged to repeat what has already been proved without objection.
Please rephrase your question, Miss Knatchbull.
Miss Hewitt, you stated that no officer was to be blamed for the tragic events. Yet surely they were sadly lacking in their duty that evening to allow 5 men in cell 29.
I'm sorry, what exactly is your question?
Do you admit that there was a negligence on the part of the officers on duty that night, the night Colin Foster died?
I am satisfied that there was no negligence.
You are satisfied that in this cramped cell, Anthony Kelly, a young 24-year-old boy who'd never been in prison before and only arrived the day before...
My lord, Miss Knatchbull is goading the witness.
Please make your questions more direct, Miss Knatchbull.
Why was Anthony Kelly placed in cell 29D wing, Miss Hewitt?
I had no alternative, no other accommodation available.
May I ask, Miss Hewitt, if you had had an alternative, would you still have delegated Mr. Kelly to cell 29?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. These 3 men then forced Anthony Kelly to take part in a sickening trial, accusing the deceased of being a nonce. A nonce? Anthony Kelly, only 24 hours earlier, had never even heard the expression.
Miss Knatchbull. Members of the jury, you will please ignore the implication that force was used by any of the defendants.
May I ask you, Miss Hewitt, From a humanitarian aspect, do you believe any proportion of blame can be attached to Barfield Prison?
Miss Knatchbull, I take full responsibility for the present running of Barfield. I am trying every possible means to curb the use of drugs.
Thank you very much for admitting responsibility. I have no further questions, ma'am.
No questions? Thank you, monsieur. I think this will be a suitable time to adjourn.
We are standing. This court stands adjourned until 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Prisoners Kelly, Reynolds, Braithwaite and Bolton are being taken back to Barfield. Transportation officers stand by.
If necessary, move him, Mr. Gordon. I do not want Anthony Kelly harassed in any way now. Is that clear? Thank you. I take full responsibility.
We were all messing about, and Colin, that's Colin Foster, he was sort of the main joker. I made some remark about him being a nonce to sex offenders. Anyway, Colin takes this the wrong way. He got a bit uptight and says, you know, if I'm a nonce, you prove it. But we were still joking. It wasn't serious. Even Colin was laughing. It's just a joke.
If we may go on. Did you ever refer to yourself as the hangman?
No, I did not.
Did you give the titles judge, jury, and solicitor to any of the other members in cell 29?
No, I did not.
Did you tie the hands of the deceased Colin Foster behind his back?
No, I did not. I never touched him.
Mr. Braithwaite, did you assist in the hanging of the deceased Colin Foster in any way?
No, I did not. He'd done it himself.
I have no further questions, my lord.
Mr. Braithwaite, may I ask you how long you are presently serving at Barfield Prison?
14 years.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Braithwaite.
14 years.
Mr. Braithwaite, were you, on the evening of Colin Foster's death, smoking illegal substances in cell 29?
No, I was not. I've never in my life smoked cannabis resin or marijuana. Can't. Got asthma.
Oh, I see. Why were you in cell 29 on the evening of Colin Foster's death?
I was just getting some tobacco.
But you have just stated that you did not smoke because you have asthma.
He got up on the chair. He was just fooling, like. And then... Oh, yeah, Officer Malahide, I think, walked past, or somebody did.
You're hearing all this, Anthony. You're getting it all, Anthony.
Better be hearing this good, Anthony.
Understand me? You do the right thing, son. We're all in the same place. Right?
We thought you were kidding, you know. His body was all limp, you see. It was just a joke.
No further questions, my lord.
Could I ask how long you are serving your present sentence, Mr. Walton?
Please answer the question, Mr. Walton.
5 years.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
I didn't even take any notice. I was reading. They was just messing about, so I kept reading. Next thing, Colin, he's on the floor. Then the alarm went and Mr. Malahide came running in. Colin didn't make a sound or call out. They were laughing 1 second and then I was told he was dead.
I have no further questions, my lord.
Mr. Reynolds, could I ask you how long you were acquainted with my client before this unfortunate and tragic incident took place?
No more than a day and a half.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Oh, there's just one more question. Could I ask you how long you're presently serving at Barfield Prison?
11 years.
I have no further questions. Thank you, my lord.
You were reading a book. They were messing around, and the deceased made no sound. He did not call out. Am I correct, Mr. Reynolds?
Yes. Like they was cracking jokes, know what I mean?
I'm trying to know what you mean, Mr. Reynolds. I believe that the length of your cell would be about the same as the distance between Miss Natchbull and myself. Would you agree?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, we can give you a few inches, but the distance is not great. It is, by any estimation, very small and claustrophobic, is it not?
I don't know.
There are 5 men in this small space, including yourself. Am I correct?
Yes, it's only a double cell, but they moved in an extra bunk for Kelly.
See, Anthony, we're all backing each other.
We all do it, none of us will go down for it.
Only needs one of us to screw it up, Anthony. Don't even think about it.
Around his own neck, tied the other end to an air vent, fell from the chair, breaking his neck. And you, Mr. Reynolds, did not see anything because you were immersed in your book.
I had earplugs in.
Mr. Kelly, you will be in the witness box tomorrow. Mind if I sit down?
No.
I want you to be very positive. I want you to tell the court exactly what you have told me.
So much has happened since then. I can't remember it all. Every time I think about it, I feel the same way over again. They're all lying. We were all smoking. Miss Natchbull, they're lying.
Yes, I know. But you tell the truth.
It'll go against me, though, won't it? I was stoned.
Anthony, I will have to ask you why you didn't leave the cell.
They wouldn't let me.
Yes. Now you just remember that, because if they had, you wouldn't be on trial for murder.
You not have your breakfast then, Norman?
Sick?
I'm not sick!
I now ask you leave to call Anthony Kelly.
That bastard Norman Jones has taken Mr. Morgan hostage. Must be nicely.
Prisoner Norman Jones is locked inside his cell at St. Morgan. We have a hostage situation. Over.
Don't do this, Norman. I know what they're going to do to me, so I want a bit of respect. Get down on your knees.
He's let me out of your cell, Norman.
You're shagging gorillas! I'll get every one of you! Let me talk to you! I'll get every last one of your balls! Stay out of here!
Russell, it's me, Gary.
Stupid!
Back off, go on, back off.
Come on, let's do this.
Sit him down.
Come on.
I'm okay.
You sure?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Do you smoke, Mr. Kelly?
No, I don't.
On the night of your first day in Barfield Prison, were you offered any substances to smoke?
No, I was not.
Mr. Kelly, can I just clarify? When I asked you if you were smoking substances, I was not referring to ordinary cigarettes. Now, I ask you again. On the night that Colin Foster died in cell 21D wing, were you offered any substances to smoke?
No, I was not.
So you were not under the influence of any narcotics during the so-called Kangaroo court held in cell 29?
No, I was not.
I'll need a full report as to how Norman Jones was able to take Morgan hostage.
What's the update on the trial?
I left just before Kelly went into the witness box. I think she might get him off, you know. He is innocent, we all know it.
Yeah, up to a point. Kelly put himself in that cell. He did it when he committed his first crime.
Fooling around. I wonder if you'd clarify that, Mr. Kelly.
Colin took some flecks out of his own pocket. He said he wasn't a nonce, and he would prove it by hanging himself.
Just out of court. Anthony Kelly denied everything. Smoking pot, the lot. His counsel couldn't budge him. What? Well, they got to him, didn't they? Stupid little bugger lied.
I'm sorry. It's bad news. Well, for Kelly. Let me have a look at Norman. See if he needs to be sedated.
You want some more? Okay!
No, I think we just let him cool off until he comes to his senses. Or not. We're not going in there with him. And I want that belt off him. You're going to do it. I'll tell you what. You can use one of those darts they use in zoos to knock out a rhino.
Anthony John Kelly, in his interview with the police, made it plain that drugs were being smoked, that his co-defendants tried and hanged the deceased Colin Foster. Before you today, he has denied that version of events and said that Colin Foster hanged himself. Now, it is up to you to decide if this retraction of his statement taken by DCI Dunes is now the truth. If it's capable of being believed, then Anthony Kelly is entitled to be acquitted.
Harry Reynolds and Stephen Moulton, 7 years. Victor Braithwaite, 11 years.
Bloody hell. What about Kelly?
He's all yours for the next 6 years, Miss Hewitt. I hope you can live with it. Anthony John Kelly was an innocent. You should have protected him.
Ryan loves her family, come what may.
You trade in blood.
But the ties that bind are loosening.
You brought a curse on this family, Moira.
This year, at this festival in the capital Seoul, South Korea commemorated the anniversary of the country's painful liberation from the Japanese. Korea is surrounded by China, Russia and Japan, and for more than 500 years has been dominated by foreign powers. South Koreans still fear and respect Japan, but now